Welcome to your daily stock market summary from MarketSnap. Hey everyone, it's time to dive into the latest action on Wall Street for February 3rd, 2026. We've got a packed day with mixed signals across the board, some major corporate shakeups, and a slew of earnings to unpack. Whether you're in for the long haul or keeping an eye on short-term moves, let's break down what matters most for your portfolio. Stick with me as we navigate the ups, downs, and everything in between. Starting with the big picture, the major indexes painted a mixed story today. The Dow Jones slipped a bit, down about 0.34%, showing some hesitation among blue-chip stocks. The S&P 500 also took a hit, dropping 0.84%, reflecting broader market softness. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq got hammered, falling 1.43%, largely dragged down by tech sector weakness. On the flip side, the Russell 2000 bucked the trend with a slight gain of 0.31%, hinting at some resilience in small caps. And for those watching volatility, the VIX spiked over 10%, signaling jittery nerves among investors. Let's zoom in on the winners of the day. Among large caps, Palantir Technologies stole the show with a nearly 7% surge after smashing earnings expectations. More on that in a bit. PepsiCo also popped, up close to 5%, boosted by news of price cuts on popular snacks to win back cost-conscious consumers. Southern Copper and Western Digital weren't far behind, riding strong commodity and tech demand waves with gains of over 11% and 7%, respectively. These moves highlight pockets of strength, especially for long-term investors eyeing undervalued growth plays. On the flip side, there were some notable casualties. Novo Nordisk took a brutal hit, down over 14%, after forecasting a sales decline for 2026 due to pricing pressures and competition in the weight loss drug space, a reminder to watch sector headwinds even in hot industries. Shopify and Booking Holdings also stumbled, each shedding around 9 to 10%, as tech and travel face ongoing volatility. Intuit wasn't spared either, dropping nearly 11% amid broader software sector struggles. For long-term holders, these dips could be buying opportunities, but short-term traders might want to tread carefully. Looking at the market movers shaking things up, Nvidia and Microsoft saw heavy trading but slipped a few percentage points, reflecting tech sector pressure. Apple held steady with minimal movement, while Tesla managed to stay flat, avoiding the day's broader sell-off. Palantir, as mentioned, was a standout on volume and gains, showing investor enthusiasm for its AI-driven story. These names are critical for anyone with a long-term tech focus, as they often set the tone for market sentiment in the near term. Speaking of volume, the most active stocks today included heavyweights like Nvidia, again underscoring its dominance in trading activity despite the dip. Intel saw a slight uptick with high volume, suggesting some bargain hunting. Pfizer, however, traded heavily but fell over 3%. Likely tied to mixed reactions post-earnings. PayPal also made the list, though it cratered over 20% after disappointing results, a stark reminder of execution risks even in established names. Keep an eye on volume as a signal of where conviction lies for both short and long plays. Now let's talk earnings, as this week is loaded with big names reporting. Today, we saw results from companies like PayPal, which missed expectations and got punished hard, and Pfizer, which beat estimates but still slipped on weaker forward-looking sentiment. Looking ahead, tomorrow brings reports from heavy hitters like AMD, Amgen, and Alphabet. Expect tech and healthcare to dominate headlines. Later in the week, Disney, Uber, and Amazon are on deck, each with potential to move markets based on consumer and tech trends. For long-term investors, these reports offer a window into sector health. Think about positioning for growth areas like AI and cloud services.
Get exclusive AI summaries of every earnings call. No more reading hours of transcripts. Access revenue segmentation, 5-year analyst estimates, SWOT analyses, and full financial statements. Plus track upcoming earnings, dividends, and market events with MarketSnap's calendar app. Create a free account at MarketSnap.com
to dive deeper into what these companies are saying about the road ahead. Beyond the numbers, there's plenty of news shaping the market narrative. A blockbuster merger between SpaceX and xAI, valuing the combined entity at a staggering $1.25 trillion, has investors buzzing about Elon Musk's next big play. Could this signal broader integration with Tesla down the line? Meanwhile, Novo Nordisk's gloomy sales outlook for 2026 rattled the obesity drug space, showing how quickly competitive dynamics can shift. And on the policy front, the nomination of Kevin Warsh as Fed chair is stirring uncertainty, with markets bracing for a potential hawkish tilt amid ongoing government shutdown delays on key economic data like the January jobs report. For long-term strategies, these macro shifts are critical. Think about how Fed moves could impact your bond or equity allocations over the next few years. Taking a step back to look at the past week's top performers among large caps, AstraZeneca led with an incredible triple-digit gain, showcasing strength in healthcare. SanDisk and Southwest Airlines also impressed, up over 30% and nearly 20% respectively, pointing to sector-specific tailwinds. These weekly movers can offer clues for long-term trends. Healthcare and travel might be areas to research further if you're building a diversified portfolio. On the other end, Axon Enterprise and CoreWeave saw steep weekly declines of over 20%, reflecting tech and speculative growth stock weakness. Kinross Gold and Celestica also struggled, down around 17%, as commodity and tech volatility bit hard. For long-term investors, these pullbacks might signal entry points, but short-term traders should note the heightened risk in these names. Sector-wise, over the past week, industrials topped the charts with a solid gain, showing resilience amid broader uncertainty. Healthcare and consumer cyclical also held up well, posting modest upticks. These sectors could be safe havens for long-term capital, especially if macro conditions tighten. Conversely, energy led the weekly losers, down over 1%, as oil and gas faced demand concerns. Utilities and real estate also lagged, reflecting sensitivity to interest rate expectations under the new Fed leadership speculation. While not the sexiest topic, sector rotation is something long-term investors should monitor. Consider rebalancing if your exposure feels off.
MarketSnap brings everything long-term investors use daily into one clean, fast platform. Explore stock financials, SWOT analysis, valuation ratios, 5-year analyst estimates, and our intrinsic value calculator, built with real fundamentals, not hype. All in a layout that's simple to read and ridiculously fast to navigate. And when you want to talk investing, join Nexus, our community where investors share valuations, posts, and stock discussions, all connected directly to the data. Use our Stock's Intrinsic Value Calculator to run and save real valuations with no spreadsheets. Share your analysis and valuations with others in the Nexus community. Get daily market summaries in video, audio, and article formats. Track the market with our earnings, dividend, and economics calendar. Our homepage gives you a real-time market overview with interactive heat maps, top market movers, and major index performance at a glance. Track daily performances, discover the most active stocks, and analyze performance across different timeframes, from weekly to yearly trends, and see which industries are leading or lagging. It's free to create an account, with optional access to premium forward-looking data. Try it now at MarketSnap.com and invest with clarity, not noise. That's a wrap for today's stock market summary from MarketSnap. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to stick with us for daily updates and deep dive SWOT analyses to keep your investment strategy sharp. Whether you're navigating short-term turbulence or building wealth for the long haul, we've got the insights to help. See you tomorrow.